G'day, I've just spent 14 hours on 2 A&A business class flights, and you know what? I reckon it's one of the best products going around. Well, the check-in staff were brilliant. It was quick, efficient, and now it's off through immigration for the first of 2 flights to the US today. Well, travelling A&A means that I can use the PAGS lounge, which I'll show you in just a second, but I can also use the Silvercrest lounge because I'm a Star Alliance Gold member. And this lounge, which I've just been in, I'm told, is much better than the PAGS lounge, which is on the upper level of the departures area. Well, having visited both lounges, which I would say are underwhelming, both of them, the Singapore Airlines is probably the better of the 2, but yeah, I tell you what, it's not by much of a margin food-wise, just below average. No, below average.
Thank you, sir.
Well, we pushed back on time and now we're heading away and the ground crew are waving at us, which is a lovely touch. So I'm in seat AC, very back of this part of business class. So what can I tell you about this seat? It's gorgeous. It has obviously a remote control for the television. On the windows, they're staggered, so my seat's on the aisle, the next one's on the window side, and in the middle, they are also staggered. Yes, there's in-seat power, there's a headphone jack here, which your normal headphones will work on. You just stick one of the prongs into the sockets, and there's a USB cable. I've ordered my meal. There are only really 2 options. One was a salmon teriyaki, that's the Japanese menu, and the other was a beef dish. Now, if I'd come last month, as you can see here, I could have a chicken teriyaki, which is one of my favourite Japanese meals. The screen's about the same size as the Qantas screen. It doesn't tilt though like the Qantas one did last flight. Plenty of leg room down here. And when we got on board, on the seat waiting for us was a beautiful pillow, a blanket and a pair of slippers. I want to tell you a little bit about the price of this flight. I paid about 3,700 Aussie dollars, and that's for the whole trip. But if I was to go just the Tokyo LA sector, how much do you reckon? 8,900 Aussie. Isn't that crazy? Anyway, we're not too far away from taking off, so I'll de-rig this and I'll talk to you when we're in the air. Well, we're sky high now and the takeoff was gorgeous. Just lovely light over Manila today. A couple of things about this flight. We get free Wi-Fi for the whole flight. The seat has an inflatable section here that comes out and gives you some lumbar support, and it also reclines into a fully flat seat for sleeping. Overhead lockers, plentiful and spacious. I've popped back to the second cabin here and I'm sitting in seat 11A, and it's a little bit noisier than where I am, with all good reason, because just out to my left here, have a look how close I am to one of these Rolls-Royce engines. That was an excellent meal. First up I had some beef, which initially I thought was okay, but it turned out to be very good. Flavoursome, tender, and with some nice rice and some vegetables. And then a couple of pieces of salmon, a tomato with something on it. There was smoked tuna, there was a lovely salad with a nice dressing, a couple of slices of salmon, and I nearly forgot to tell you about the Haagen-Dazs ice cream. But I tell you what, I won't forget to eat it. Vanilla. And for those interested in what wines are on board, this is your selection, along with these beers. Well, people, we've just arrived at the gate, and that was one of the best flights I've taken in a very long time. Now, the seatbelt sign's been turned off, so we're going to head off. I've never seen more wheelchairs as I've exited a plane as I have back there. That was a record. Well, this is the A&A lounge, and it is lovely. Quite big. In fact, there are 2 separate sections to it. The one I'm in now has a view out over the apron and tarmac. The one to my left has no view. Well, it has a bit of a view into the general airport, but this is probably the nicer area to sit because it's got more natural light. The food, yep, pretty darn good selection up there. Well, I've just had some noodles from the Bain Marie along with some fried chicken and also some pork dumplings, and everything was excellent. Certainly a lot better than the last lounge in Manila, and you'd expect so too because this is their flagship lounge. Right, here we go on flight 2 of 3. This is the longest, 10 hours from Tokyo to Los Angeles. Well, on board this 787-900 now, I'm in seat 11C, and this is not the exact same cabin. This one is a bigger business class cabin. On this setup, it's the odd numbers that have the seats next to the aisle, and this is the one I prefer because you've got a big gap here to be able to get out. Now this suite is not their best product. They recently introduced what they call the room, and it's a product that I would like to experience sometime soon. They used to have it on this flight from Tokyo to LA, but they changed it. But it is certainly a much larger suite and looks like it might give Qatar's Q Suite a fair run for its money. Well, people were off and eating again. I can tell you straight up, we've got an amuse-bouche of some beautiful feta cheese, tuna and olive, and these little breadsticks, which I didn't rate. Champagne-wise, we're on trap here, but unfortunately, it's room temperature. It should be way colder than that, and that's disappointing because that's a good drop. Now, A&A is not dine on demand in business class, but this was dinner. I liked it. The service was immaculate, and I gave the steak 7.4 out of 10. Earplugs and face mask on. Now, it's time for 6 hours sleep. Disappointed to report that I only had about 4 hours sleep, but now we're approaching Los Angeles, about 39 minutes away. On the ground in Los Angeles now, to make a long walk, no doubt, to immigration, and then 6 hours of hanging around. It was about a 4-minute walk over here to the American Airlines check-in area, which is dull and unimpressive, but my check-in staff member was lovely. Well, I'm in the lounge safely now. There's two sections to the American Airlines lounge up here. There's the normal section and there's the flagship, which I'm in because I'm a Qantas Emerald member, so it gets me a slightly better lounge, perhaps with not quite so many people up here. Food looks good behind me. Maybe I'll have a snack at some point. And they're serving Piper Heidsieck champagne as you enter the lounge. Well, the end is nearly here. Third and final flight. This time American Airlines to Austin. About 3 hours in total on a much lesser aircraft than what I've been on for the last two, but still very keen to get there and have some sleep. I'm on board now. This is seat 1E on a 737. It's 2-2 in business class, and thankfully it's a proper seat. None of that European middle seat blocked out nonsense. 4 rows of business class, 16 in total, and a full flight to Austin. On the ground in Austin, nothing to report flight-wise. Actually, reasonable meal. In particular, the cheesecake was excellent. Now it's off to collect my luggage and then grab a car from F42 and head to my hotel. And at the moment, it looks pretty quiet in here because it is nearly 10 p.m. Well, 30 hours after leaving Manila, finally here in Austin at the Cambria Hotel, where I'm here for the next week for the US Grand Prix. And for those of you not subscribed, here's your chance to remedy the situation. And for a whole lot of extras, including merchandise and other content from Formula One, that's where you need to look. Thanks for watching.
And stay passionate.
This is a light that I haven't as yet worked out how to turn on. There's another light here. Oops, wrong one. There's another light. No, I'll turn that off. No. That's a mistake. I've turned this on and now I can't turn it off. That was a mistake, sorry. Yeah, mistake. Can I turn it off? How do I turn it off? Ah, super. Arigato.